Hello, peeps. Welcome to Above the Fold episode 19. Shit, 19. We're close to actually, what, 20th episode? That's how it
20,
works,
yeah.
right? Numbers, right?
Well, yeah, we had a we had two watch parties, so I guess we're already in the 20s
Yeah, pretty
technically.
much, actually, yeah. Hmm.
Good.
Well, we have our usual panel Scott, aka Neon Demon. What up?
Hello.
And Adam Nunza Moses. What up? He's super serious. Look at that. Look at that. A professional. And we have a special guest. Yes, guys. You know him. You love him. Kisogo. What up, man?
Hi.
You
Very,
like
very
the
pleased to be
hype? Yes, guys, we have a fantastic show for you guys today. We're going to be giving you guys our impressions from the PlayStation 5 showcase that happened this week, and we're going to get to know more about our special guest, Kisogo. So, with that said, let's actually jump into it. So, Kisogo.
Starting with me. Oh, shoot.
Yes, of course. Of course. You are
I'm
the
not
special-
ready at all.
It's fine, I'm gonna just take you through this very, very, very easy. So you're in perfectly good hands, I think. Maybe
Appreciate it.
we'll see.
I
We'll
have
see.
complete faith and trust in you guys.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us your origin story. Who is
Man,
Kisogo?
oh, this is rough. I'm a craft cocktail bartender. I've been in the food and beverage industry for about 10 years. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot I can really say. I'm just an enthusiastic individual who likes to find other like-minded enthusiastic individuals and share memes with. That's pretty much me.
For you guys that don't know Kisogo, so yeah, so go on, Scott.
I was gonna say that's just my goal in life in general. So you're doing well already.
To share
should be
memes.
everybody's goal, man. Should be
Yeah.
I remember one of the streams that Kisogo actually was part of, and let me tell you guys, this man can sell you on any drink. Okay,
Okay.
he is a champion of flavors. I mean,
Champion of flavors.
he's
Oh
a
my
champion.
god.
Dude is out here. Because I remember I was drinking water on that stream. Was talking about when you mix this and this. Like, this water sucks, man. I want that. I want whatever you're saying, and I want it right now. So he's being very modest. He's a connoisseur. He's a champion of the flavors. He can pretty much talk you into any drink. So, but you definitely get to know more about him. So tell us about game wise. What was the first, I guess, game that you played?
Man, that was a long time ago. It's hard to say. I grew up. I didn't really have like console. So I always like played on like my like relatives stuff and or my friends. When I was allowed to go to people's houses, I was pretty sheltered when I was growing up. Man, it's hard to say because there are so many. I mean, obviously like Mario, Duck Hunt and that.
Ooh, Duck Hunt! Holy shit!
Yeah. I definitely distinctly remember using the light gun and putting it at that point in the screen where you could just hit anything. Yeah. I definitely did that.
Hacks, nice.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't really know if I can say what my first game like ever was, but definitely in the NES era for sure.
Oh, okay, so you pretty much started off with consoles, and then did you ever sort of dabble into PC games, or were you?
Well, okay, so at the time when I was growing up, PC wasn't really a thing, as I'm ancient. But yeah, PC didn't really start becoming a thing until like basically college and like kind of like thereafter. That's when like they started like coming really big and things like that. With the advent of like Doom and like Wolfenstein, all that stuff. That's when that's when I was like, that's when PC started becoming a thing. Again, I didn't really have a PC when I was growing up. Oregon Trail was one of my first games I ever played on the PC. Holy shit! Back on the old Apple TV.
Wow. Yeah. So at what point, I guess, did you realize that gaming is definitely a part of who I am? It's my core, basically. Like, or what part did it sort of hit you like that?
That's a really great question. And honestly, like, I think I don't know if I can speak for everybody, but I used video games as like an escape. you know, to explore stories that I wasn't able to like experience myself, or you know, things like that. I mean, I was a very avid reader growing up. I loved reading. I started when I was really, really young. My parents were very, very adamant about that, and so reading for me was always like kind of like that as well. So video games was an extension of that. Yeah.
So I guess you're talking about like pretty much manga or comic books, stuff like that.
Yeah. Less comic books. I didn't really get into manga until later, but definitely like, I mean, Sword and
Novels,
Shannara
fictional.
series. You know, Robert Jordan's, you know, Wheel of Time series.
Okay.
The whole breadth of like fantasy and sci-fi authors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I devoured everything in that.
Okay. So fantasy is your jam then, pretty much.
Yeah. It's fantasy and sci-fi, pretty much my
jam. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So I know you're also a streamer as well. So I guess you can sort of give us what made you decide to jump into it. Like, what was that thing?
Well, I mean, it was a combination of a lot of factors, obviously. So actually, I got furloughed from my job twice during the whole COVID-19 thing. So the first time around, I was really focused on like kind of like mental health, bettering myself. I worked on a lot of projects, read a bunch of books. You know, I did a lot of things for me to like kind of like, you know, get my headspace right, which I was very, very thankful for. Actually, I was like living like way healthier in those 2 months I was off work the initial time, because I was going to bed early, you know, waking up early, eating right. I was eating late as hell. So that's coming from like, you know, 10 years of like just being up all the time. But the second time around, it was in July. I didn't start streaming until July, and I had always had this like concept of like, what would happen if a army vet who has seen his share of, you know, things in the military were to play scary games, and very much aware of the fact that he's very, very squeamish about scary games. So the whole idea behind Kasogo Plays was like this, like, oh, I'll just like play a bunch of like scary games and see how long I can last. And then I played one, and I was like,
no.
I could not do it, dude. I could not. So I started like delving into other stuff, and yeah, it's been quite an experience. Some of that, I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
That I started streaming at the time I did, you know, because like, you know, staying at home and like being like trying to socially distance and all that stuff in the realm of the pandemic and stuff like that is very isolating. And so I think that I needed to start streaming at the time I did, because I'm a social person, and part of the reason why I do my job is because I get to meet all sorts of new people. I love meeting people. I love getting to know people, and Twitch has provided that for me. Yeah. So I've met a lot of really, really fantastic people. Obviously, you three, in addition to a whole host of really, really phenomenal people that I truly would never had the opportunity to get to know as I did if I didn't stream.
Yeah. Do you remember? I mean, pretty much echoing what you're saying. Like, so that's one of the things I like about streaming. I'm sure both Neon and Nuns can pretty much say the same thing as well. It's just getting to know people. Like, you never know what each stream is gonna bring, which makes it equally exciting.
yeah. For sure.
Also, you can also meet like really cool people that you know make a bond with, play games together, talk about the most randomest shit and stuff. So. I definitely feel you in that. Do you remember how your first stream went? Was it chaotic? Was it was it a mess?
Dude, honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing. I spent 2, maybe 3 days just trying to figure out OBS, and which is a nightmare. I remember thinking at the time, I was like, why isn't this like built into the platform? Why is it I have to go somewhere else to do other It was a mess. But the first game I streamed was World War Z, and it's very indicative of like,
oh wow,
yeah. So World War Z was, if you guys haven't played it, it's it's set into the world of World War Z, which is a really, really great book. The book reads way different than the movie and the game. It's more like a collection of stories from around the world of people like from their perspective. The author of that book actually wrote a book called The Zombie Survival Handbook, which is a phenomenal book to pick up. Very, very, very good to know. By the way, if you are first thing you should do whenever you get caught in a zombie apocalypse, or when you get caught in a zombie apocalypse, is to cut your hair. Make sure it's short so it can't be grabbed.
Easy then. Yeah,
absolutely.
Easy. Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. But
Apocalypse training 101 here. Holy shit!
I know, right? There you go.
Don't get me started on zombie apocalypse. So War Wars Z is a co-op game, very much in the realm of like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Love it. I love the communication. I love like the tension of that game. I like pretty much anything zombies anyway, so I thought it was a really cool way to do it, because I played with my friends. My friends are really, really entertaining. I'm biased, obviously. Very, very biased. Like I play with Lachlan in chat. He's one of my closest friends. We play with him. Another friend, Alon Blades, and another friend, Heavy D-Bag. So the shit that we yell at each other when we play this game, mind-numbingly out of control.
It's part of the comms, right?
Yeah. It's part of it. But it was interesting to me because I like co-op games when I'm not playing other stuff. So
yeah. So I know you mentioned that you don't really do spooky games. FYI, guys, those of you that are in Kisogo's stream, make sure that you spam horror games next time he streams.
Have you got a channel point redemption for games? Have you? Is there any sort of channel point?
I already have like 3 people threatening me. Like they're like, "Oh, we're saying we got 10,000 channel points coming up right now." Like, "Oh, that's what I'm gonna pick for you," and I'm like, I just want to cry, dude.
October's coming in. That is the month
man. That's the best time to do it, isn't it?
So
I mean, you can start off small and just build your way up to Resi 7, I suppose, or Alien Isolation. But or even Outlast. Don't start with Outlast. Don't do that.
I started my first scary game on stream was Outlast, and I was like,
no,
I just can't do it.
I couldn't.
Well, you've got a few people saving up. You've got like me, Neon, Arrow. Looks like Cheryl flying chat. She's saving up. Yeah. There's a few people saving up for them spooky games. So get yourself ready.
You want to see
get a few spare pants. Get a few spare pants.
I have pants at the ready.
or just don't wear pants. That's
I could do that too. The vest and boxes look very, 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 very attractive.
There you go, guys. Some visual image of that in case you're wondering what that would look like. So I suppose since you have people that obviously are trying to get you to play scary movies, do you take that into consideration as to what type of games you want to stream? Do you think, okay, what would my audience like to see me play, and maybe perhaps what I would like to play? What is your formula for it?
To be honest, I approach streaming the way I approach my career, and the places I work, and it doesn't. To be perfectly honest, like I said, when I started my channel, I had this idea, oh, this is gonna happen. It didn't, because part of that is based on what you go through, and this is speaking with bars and restaurants, the same thing. It's you open with this idea, oh, it's gonna be like this, but the best laid plans, never survive contact with the enemy, right? So it's as soon as I started doing it, I realized the challenges of what I was doing. And your guests or your demographic, your clientele, they're going to dictate what they want to see as well. And that's not to say that, I'm advocating doing whatever it is that your guests want, but people come to your place of business because they want to see you. They enjoy the product that you're making or what you're delivering. They enjoy your service or what it is that you provide for them when they're there. I view streaming very much the same way. So, I have something that I want to share with people, but I would be very remiss as with a business and in a business mindset if I didn't take into consideration my clientele or my guests, what they want as well. Because if that's what they want to see, I mean, I'm not saying I'm at everybody's women and beck and call or anything, but if it's if that's what they want to see, that's that's your clientele giving you straight feedback. And if we don't take people's feedback, whether in business or
life in general,
streaming, or streaming is very minuscule compared to life in general, but we don't take people's feedback seriously and and try to incorporate it or learn from it, I think that we would be very poor in the terms of what we are doing.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. So the feedback is saying that keep spamming the horror games. I mean, hey, look, I'm just pretty much saying what you're saying. So I think I take you for a very honest streamer. Yes, yes, yes.
I try to conduct myself the same way I conduct myself in my career.
There you go.
I try to conduct myself with integrity. I will cry on stream. I don't care.
That would make for a good content just to see the tears.
Just people just 3 hours of a man just weeping.
I would definitely be there clipping some very memorable moments for sure. Okay, fair enough. So I guess when it comes to, I'm gonna put you in a very, very tough spot now.
Can't wait. That's why I do this.
First question. This is not even what we have on our brief. If you had to choose between World War Z type zombies or Walking Dead type zombies, which one would you go for?
Okay, so this is always a debate whenever we're talking about zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
I talk about zombie apocalypse a lot. So, dude, Dawn of the Dead, like the fucking fast zombies are terrifying. Yeah. Like, let's be honest. Like zombies that the reason why zombies work in Walking Dead, even though they're slow, right, is because there's so many. It's supposed to like illustrate how alone, how isolated you are compared to like this like mass of unhumanity, if you will. Yeah. But fucking running zombies, that is terrifying.
I know.
Terrifying because when you are like when an aggressor does that, like we're taking away from zombies in general, when an aggressor is doing that, it's going to put you in a high stress, high tension, like point of view. It's going to activate your flight and fight response. And the thing is when you're under a stressful situation, and I've been in several, your decision making goes down, your accuracy goes down. Like everything that you do is impacted because you are resorting to a very, very base instinctual reaction, right? Yeah. And so zombies is terrifying enough as it is. A running zombie would just diminish everything that you have planned or like your usual way of doing it, unless you're trained really, really well. I can't believe we're talking about this right now.
I could say, keep going. But I guess in summary, pretty much you're saying that running zombies is definitely a no-no.
Definitely. Fuck that.
Even just a normal person running at you at full pelt is scary enough, let alone a zombie who's going to probably eat you if he catches you.
Dude, I've been chased by a dog before. It was the most. I remember crying. It was like in an open field. And it was, you know what? This was my friend's dog. He thought it was funny for let the dog to chase. I was screaming across the park, yelling like in tears. I was like literally just crying. He was I could hear him laughing as well, which is infuriating as well.
Dick move there.
Yeah, what dog? What dog was this?
A German Shepherd.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like a
Chihuahua, a little Chihuahua chasing.
It was a fucking massive. Like it could stand. It was taller than me. It wasn't even no joke, man. Seriously. So yeah,
he's changed that dog, hasn't he? It was definitely a little poodle or a Chihuahua.
Yeah. All right then. So just one more question for you, Kisogo, before we move on. I know we always ask our guests this. First of all, what are your top 3 games of all time? Just real quick.
This is so hard to answer because I actually, when you like sent me the run, I was like just sitting there for like the past couple of hours. I was like, what are my favorite games? You know what I mean? Like, and it's hard to say because it's like it's so subjective, obviously, but it also changes with like as I've grown up, like what I felt like were my favorite games that changed in accordance to like what I began to value or what I mean, really, that's what it is. With what I started to value in regards to like what I'm playing, and so it's such a very dynamic question. It's hard to say because you ask me this question, I'm going to answer it. You ask me that tomorrow, it's going to change. You know what I mean? So, I think right now,
I'll say the same thing.
I think right now, I think my top 3. You said,
yes.
Top 3 favorite games. I'm huge fan of like strategy type games. Fire Emblem is one of my favorite games, like FF Tactics, that type of stuff. But Fire Emblem for sure because of the consequences, like permadeath and your with your units and stuff like that. That's really, really cool. I will have to say that I have been me and Neon we actually talked about this like I think a couple weeks ago. Old point and click games are like just are starting to come back for me, like in terms of like what I wanted to like explore. And so like the old Quest for Glory series from Sierra was phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of that. So that's two, I guess. All right, yeah. Can I claim that? There's this older point and click adventure game called Gabriel Knight. That's really, really good. They did a remake of it. If you've never heard of it, Gabriel Knight's about it takes place in Louisiana. It's about a author. He's like murder author. He's like very unsuccessful, but he gets embroiled in this big occult thing going on in Louisiana. Like it's in New Orleans actually specifically, and it's really, really good. They did a remake of it. It's incredible. If you like that kind of style of game and that subject matter, you definitely should play it.
Okay. Wow. I still haven't played. I know about Fire Emblem. I've never played it before. I want to check it out once I'm able to. But okay, pretty solid list. Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything you're looking for or looking forward to besides Cyberpunk this year or even maybe next year? So everybody would say Cyberpunk.
It's hard. Cyberpunk is awesome, but there's also this game. I think most people have heard of it. It's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The reason why I'm looking forward to that game is because I played the first one, and the first one is still like I have it permanently installed on my computer. Okay. To go back and play it.
It's got a massive cult following. Like every media person I follow seems to talk about it in such high regard, which has only piqued my interest in it.
Absolutely, I would recommend that game to anybody. Obviously, the graphics are a little bit outdated, but the gameplay, the way they do it. I'm a fan of the Vampire Masquerade tabletop RPG to begin with, and the whole White Wolf like world. They accurately replicate those rules in the game, and they don't make it unapproachable. So it's like very much an RPG game set in that kind of vampire setting, because basically the Vampire the Masquerade is about two sects. It's about the Camerlin, the other guys, I forgot, the bad people. Yeah, so it's about like you can't just go around just murdering people, because you have to uphold the masquerade, which is like the veil of secrecy, right? And stuff like that.
You know what I realized? Like most of the games you've actually mentioned, that they're not really, for me anyway, they're not like the AAA mainstream. They're sorry. No, I was just saying the games that you mentioned, for me anyway, they're not like the massive games that people see in TV, or like they're very. I don't want to call it indie because I don't know how big it is. Niche. I could go with that. Yeah. But this is good though, because for me, I don't get to hear about games like this unless somebody tells me like, oh, by the way, you should check out this indie game. Like for example, Katana Zero. I didn't know about it till one of my subs, my viewers actually told me like, dude, check out this game, and I love that game. Fury, for example, another one as well. Like, it's so nice to have different people on here that have like different, interests in different types of games. Okay, nice. Well, there you have it, guys. That's Kisogo. He's gonna be stick with us for the rest of the show, so don't run away. Before we move on to our next segment or rest of the show, just a quick shout out to you guys in chat. Jaden, I see you. I see everything. Okay. Shout out to Jaden, Pixel, Fluff, Cherryfly, Elam Blaze, Blue Melody, Mecat, Rogly. I think I've said that right. And is it Rogly?
Rogly. Yeah.
Okay. And Lock. I struggle with pronouncing Twitch names this week.
Tell me about it. I struggle with English, just plain English. So
I know, it's like I love the creativity on Twitch, but my God, some of the names I'm like, how do you even? Some of them even have numbers and like underscore. I'm like, okay, are you even real? What? Are you like the bots? Like, you know what? I'm just gonna call you Seven. Forget about it. So. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are making this show what it is. So I appreciate you guys coming to chill with us on this Sunday. We have again our special guest, Kisogo. Right. Next segment. I am excited. We got Prince of Persia has been announced, a remake.
Yeah, dude.
I think it's the first one, isn't it? Correct me, Scott, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a remake of Ubisoft's original game, not the original 32-bit style.
Got you. So the original was released in 2003. It's meant to be pretty much graphics, the controls. They even use motion capture for some of the scenes. They also have a special voice actor that did the voice for Peter Parker and
it's the original voice actor from the original series, just re-recording his lines.
Right, okay. So they really like put in a lot of effort to this, not just put in new coats of paint. They're actually making it a proper remake, I guess. So this is meant to be coming out in 2021, January 21st. For you guys that don't know, I'm a massive fan of Prince of Persia. I love the games to death. Now, the remake is currently available for pre-order, so I will be doing that at some point, either next week or the week after. But in the pre-order, you will get the original weapon sets. You get the original Prince outfit and a classic filter. Wait, does that sort of change the graphics to how it was before, and then you can switch it to how it is now?
Good question. I mean,
wonder.
The filters I've seen in the past, like Mortal Shell, those kind of filters, they've just made it more pixelated. So it could be that. Who knows?
I remember Halo. Wasn't there Halo in the anniversary that you could switch between the remastered and
and the old one?
The old one, yeah. So I wonder if that's the case. But just quickly, Isogo, are you a fan of Prince of Persia? Is this something that speaks to you?
So I definitely remember Prince of Persia back on old consoles. It was very much a side-scrolling kind of like platforming style game.
Hard.
And I have very, very strong feelings about platforming games, and the very negative feelings about those. But I did play that.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking hate platforming. It drives me absolutely nuts. Just ask Elon and like Lock the Knock. They can definitely testify how much I fucking hate.
We have to dig a little deeper into that some other time.
Absolutely. I've been hurt, guys. Prince of Persia, though, when Ubisoft originally made the kind of like the more modern version of Prince of Persia, I really, really enjoyed because it changed the way that platforming was in that game. Because it was in the original game, it was infuriating. Right, but with the way they did the remake, what they did with the kind of like the update, I really, really enjoyed the gameplay for sure, because it made it more accessible. It didn't feel like I wanted to claw my eyeballs out.
That bad? that bad? Okay, well, I mean, I know, Scott, you love Prince of Persia. I know that for a fact. How do you feel about this remake? Is it something that you're excited for? You're like, it's a good start.
Yes, I mean, I am looking forward to it, but there's a caveat, of course. I mean, as you guys know, I love experiencing different cultures in video games. That's what I look for in a video game. I'm glad they're bringing Prince of Persia back. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'll get it regardless, but at the same time, I wish they'd give it a bit more love. It's essentially a last-gen game being ported over into a current gen game, which will be released during next gen. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are going to miss it because of its graphics. I mean, it doesn't look like the rest of the remasters. I mean, compare that to I don't know, like the
Final Fantasy remake.
Yeah. I mean, that was just flawless. I mean,
amazing.
Good point.
I mean,
Shadow of Colossus. Yeah, you can appreciate by the visuals, but I'm not going to let that stop me from enjoying it, because I'm sure the gameplay is still there, and the gameplay was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I just hope they take our feedback, because there's been a lot of feedback, and I hope they take it to heart, and I hope they continue to bring the other Prince of Persia games back as well, because Warrior Within was phenomenal.
Warrior Within, Two Thrones. Oh my god, dude!
One of the hardest video games I've played, like that and Ninja Gaiden. Those two are the hardest games I've ever played. Honestly,
I don't actually finished the Ninja Gaiden game. Yeah, no, I completely on the same page with you. Adam, Prince of Persia. I've never
played
heard
it.
Of you talk about.
never played it at all.
Never.
No, never played it. I wouldn't mind. Well, the thing is, I probably get my fix going off other Twitch streamers like yourself, Neon.
Yeah,
probably get my fix. If it catches my eye and it looks fantastic, might pick it up, might give it a go. But no, never really been interested in that sort of game. But you never know. Might change my mind with this new remake.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page with what you said, Scott. Given that we've seen a lot of remakes that are stunningly well done. I mean, we're going to get into it in in the next segment, Demon Souls. We saw how that's been remastered. Again, you mentioned Final Fantasy VII, you mentioned Shadow Colossus. For me, because I'm such a diehard Prince of Persia, I'm blinded. I cannot see it clearly, objectively. I'm sorry. So I'm just I'm just excited about it. But okay, fair enough. Well, like there you go, guys. We have, I think Fluff mentioned Crash Bandicoot, another platformer-ish type game coming out. Or it's already out actually, if I'm not mistaken. It's already out. The new Crash Bandicoot. Hang on, is it?
I've not been following that, to be honest.
No. I saw. I think it came out this week. I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of Crash Bandicoot Team Racing. Good game.
I want to get Crash Bandicoot. I like that's a really good game. I spent a lot of time on that back in the day. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the games I might get.
If you get it, I think I will watch your stream and then decide. But it does excite me. I know somebody. I think Fluff mentioned it in chat and we're excited about Crash Bandicoot. So so there you have it, guys. Those of you that are looking forward to Prince of Persia, you can pre-order that now. Hopefully, it might lead to maybe more. Games
that is one of the best platformers out there, isn't it? I mean, it's held in high regard. I mean,
it is.
I mentioned in chat Cuphead. That's one of the most hardest platformers I have ever seen, but it's so pretty.
And it's gorgeous.
Knowing that you don't 100%
gorgeous.
I want people to experience that.
People experience that. You said in chat, I want to break him. Like, dude, come on. It's fucking infuriating. Dude.
It will break you as it broke me. And I love platformers.
Just a quick one there. Crash Bandicoot is coming out on October 2nd. Not exactly. You can get the demo now. So yeah, it releases October 2nd.
Gotcha. I remember I saw some streamers playing it, so I was thinking it was already out. But okay, thanks for that, Adam. For Cuphead, I don't know if they have the co-op function included now, because that's one of the things that pissed me off.
Kind of does. If you're playing on Steam, it has that couch co-op online functionality thing. So it kind of makes local co-op online. So I've not tried it out. I'm just aware of the system.
Okay. I've tried it on Overcooked. Myself, Nix, and also Ono's. Joe Torres, that sort of a bit like that. We played it. You know what? Seamless. If you do have to have a pretty good internet connection, because even though it'll still stream, but the quality will go down to 360p, that sort of thing.
Wow, really?
Go back to the 90s. Yeah, it can be. But it'll work. I'm quite surprised how well it works.
Okay. Well, shall we move right along? So this week we had the PlayStation 5 showcase. Now, this was a very anticipated event because there were a lot of questions relating to when is the box coming out. More importantly, how much is the box going to cost? And then the games as well.
We finally know the price. the chicken chase is over. Oh my god.
It's been long awaited. So I think how we're gonna do this. Let's dissect this fat, meaty segment.
Get comfy.
It's a lot. We'll talk about the games that we saw, and then we can move on to, I guess, the box, and then any little tidbits. Feel free, guys, to jump in if I miss something, because it is, like I said, it is quite hefty. So we saw a lot of games that were showcased. We saw Spider-Man, we saw Harry Potter, we saw Call of Duty, we saw a bit of the campaign for Call of Duty, we saw Resident Evil, we actually saw more gameplay as well, and then we saw Deathloop, which was announced a while. No, Deathloop was actually a game that we saw a while back, and they brought it again, showing, I guess, was it multiplayer option? It looked like a multiplayer option to me, but we saw Deathloop anyway. We saw more gameplay from that.
I think the whole game is a hybrid of like PvE and PvP. I was getting like roguelike elements where you'd keep going at it, you'd die, you'd do it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That game is a mystery to me.
It is such a unique game that I want to actually know more about it. But again, we saw gameplay from that. We saw Devil May Cry Special Edition with my boy Virgil coming out with his sexiest swords, looking hella dope. So we saw that. We also saw Oddworld Soulstrom, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I think Adam and I think Kisogo, you guys have experience with that, if I'm not mistaken. No?
Yeah.
Kisogo like, what?
I'm sorry, what kind of game is it? Oh, it's a scary game?
It's a spooky and then we saw gameplay from Fortnite in our brief reviews. We put in there. Is it even worth mentioning? So we saw all these games. Now, just real quick, I know Kisogo, you didn't get a chance to see the showcase, so I'm going to start off with Neon Demon. Out of all the games that were showcased, were there any, like, which one sort of stood out to you the most? Which one were you like?
Stood out. I mean, it's obviously going to be Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when because we had this, we watched it during the ATF watch party. We did have some technical issues, so we couldn't really give our impressions after the show. But there was, I mean, everything they showed was fantastic. I don't particularly care about Fortnite, but that's fine. It's not for everyone. But like, Demon's Souls was the one game that I wanted to see gameplay for, and it looks fantastic. I mean, I'm happy to see Devil May Cry, Resident Evil Village. With that game in particular, I don't want to see any more to play. I want it in my hands.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, of course, I love the campaigns. That's all I play them for. Multiplayer. My feelings on multiplayer.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely Demon's Souls. That's pretty much where my jam is. Really, that's what I'm about.
Nuns, we have the trailer for Demon's Souls. We might as well just cue that up right now if you can.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about it. Yeah, I think we're mentioning about how impressive, it doesn't even look like a remake. It doesn't look like a remaster. It looks like a completely new game. Kisogo, I know you're a fan of Dark Souls, right?
To be perfectly fair, I have never played a Souls-like game.
Oh my god!
This has been boring.
You'll not want to after the price reveal. Holy shit!
Hold on. The ones that I played.
How do we ban people in here real quick?
Really?
Okay.
We need to educate him. We need to introduce him to new things. Not punish him.
It's I played Remnant, which I really really like, and I've played I finished Fallen Order, which is kind of like Souls light as well, but I've never played a proper Souls game, and so not for lack of not wanting to, it's just that I just haven't had the opportunity, to be honest.
But is it something
about that?
I 100% agree with you, Scott. I mean, you have played Remnant, so that means you are interested in this type of game. So is it something that maybe you might jump in at some point?
Oh, eventually, yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's not something that I'm against 100%, but there's also like that style of gameplay has to be more than just like being frustrating and just dying a lot, because I get super aggro and frustrated pretty easily. And so for me, what I liked about Remnant, because Remnant was also frustrating, was the changing nature of it, the way that they do the procedurally generated campaigns and things like that, being able to reset all that. That was the draw for me on that. Fallen Order was Fallen Order because I love Star Wars, but it has to have for me, it has to have something to pull me in. Yeah.
Just to interrupt there, you've kind of dipped your toes in already.
Exactly.
I mean, I would compare those Souls-like as to like the From Software games as apples and oranges, because they both approach it very differently. From Software, when you die, it's not the game's fault, it's your fault, and it's down to you to learn how to overcome that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, the bosses in Remnant, when me and Arrow went through the campaign, I felt like they were just, everything was dialed up to 20. It was ridiculous. Everything was so hard, unnecessarily hard. But with like From Software, they weren't hard because they had a lot of health. They were hard because they had a certain way to take them down, and it was down to you to figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But there's no way I can describe the feeling after figuring out somebody's attack pattern for weeks and then finally beating him.
We're currently watching Kisogo go around the world by not moving. No, but to your point,
I was totally paying attention and not playing with my computer.
No, but to your point, Scott, I think there's nothing like the Souls-like game, like this type of feeling you get from having died so many times. I mean, Nuns, you dabbled into Dark Souls 3 earlier this year. I know you got stuck somewhere, but again, you have defeated bosses up until where you got to. Seeing this now, seeing how pretty damn good it is, do you think you might plunge into this? or do you think
yes, it's gonna be quite vain because the reason why I think about picking this up is it looks gorgeous. It looks really, really good. Even though it's going to be the same kind of, it's going to play the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just with the graphics being what it is, I think it'll entice us a bit more into it, and it looks really, really nice.
Okay.
Little fun fact: I've actually played the Dark Souls board game, and I've been told that the board game plays like Dark Souls, the video game.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very much about positionals, and like the bosses have like a AI deck, and like they have certain things like that they do, and so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, I didn't even know.
I've not had the opportunity to play many board games like that at all.
Same here.
My background is pretty much Monopoly and Uno. So
that's it, man. It's great games. And I guess just carrying on with that, Scott, you mentioned. I think we triggered it. You mentioned Demon's Souls as one of the games that you obviously had a major, I guess, stood out more for you. Is there anything else that stood out besides Demon's Souls?
Yeah, and this came. I mean, I'm going to stay with Demon's Souls real quick because there's something else that I learned after the show. But you guys know I've never been a big fan of the Sony marketing train. But when I found out that Demon's Souls will cost 70 quid on release, that kind of dampened my spirits a little bit. I mean, especially since the whole debacle of them announcing it was coming to PC, then it's not coming to PC, and now we don't know if it's coming to PC or not.
Why is it so expensive?
It's $70.
Sorry, I was interrupt, but I know Scott felt very bad about the price because he was up at 4 a.m. when I was playing Ark with Authentic, etc. And he came online and talked about it. I can't get sleep. I'm so wound up. The price is just ridiculous.
That's how sad my life is right now. Is that these things bother me? I'm so entrenched into politics right now. I just can't not annoy me. Like, I mean, $70. I mean, that's a lot of money, as it is. But £70, that translates to $90. So it's insane. I'm like, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation console and play $70 for a video game. I'm not. The most I've ever played for a standard edition of a video game is Sekiro, and that was $54.99.
Yeah. Go on.
No, I mean, that was pretty much the end of it. I mean, it's a game I want to play, but it's also like the console is going to be 500 quid. I'm not going to get digital. Digital is already quite expensive as it is. It's just not something. It's not an avenue I want to pursue right now. I'm going to wait. I think it's really kind of dampened my spirits for the whole. My excitement, probably the better word to use. I'm just not excited to get a PlayStation after.
I think it's a lot. And then we're going to jump on the actual price for the two versions in a second. I think in one of our previous shows, we did get a hint as to what this next gen games are going to cost. I think there were speculations that we'd probably end up seeing 70, 60-ish price. So in my mind, I think I was mentally prepared for that. But knowing that it might actually be the case for next gen games that would cost 70 quid, it's a lot. It's really a lot, and it might be that I may even end up only getting exclusive games for consoles, and then anything else I'm just gonna get it on Steam or via CD keys or whatever. But 70 quid is a lot. But again,
it is.
It's. I mean, just to add on to that, if that's the price we'll be paying for first party games from PlayStation, that'll only increase the value of the subscription services, Game Pass, like. That itself, you buy 3 games and like throughout the year, and you pretty much paid for Game Pass. I mean, if you pay any more than that, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know Sony's presented their offering as well, but they're approaching it a little bit differently. But we'll go into that as we get to it.
Just quick, Adam. Game wise, was there anything that you felt was wow? Like, damn, I want to play this. I'm excited for this.
Could be
Fortnite.
Yeah. Back in the day, old school Fortnite, I would say yes, until all these stupid
they have cars.
Kids that are better than me, doing all these 90s that they call it.
Building the Taj Mahal in like 3 seconds flat.
Yeah, you run up to somebody, and next thing you try and shoot somebody, and then the next thing you know, they'll be like 20 stories up. You're like, okay, I'll give up.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm interested. Well, I love Oddworld. That was one of the probably. I remember that's a really good game that I can memorize playing back in the good old days when I used to play games with my dad, and we just played that for a while. Also, I wouldn't mind checking out Spider-Man. I wouldn't mind checking out that.
Yes, we've not mentioned that at all, actually.
No, which is perfect that you brought it up. Yeah,
Look,
absolutely.
Do we have a new Spider-Man game? Like, if Sony has a pretty good tradition of making really, really great Spider-Man games, so I cannot possibly believe that the new Spider-Man game is going to be any worse. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, with the announcement of that coming to PlayStation 4, I've got another reason to move over to PlayStation 5 yet. So,
yeah, I mean, just from the way the gameplay looked, because I haven't played it. You played Spider-Man. This is meant to be the Morales version, I guess. I don't know if it's a DLC or an entirely different game. I'm not sure. But what we got in the showcase, it looked, the cutscenes, the way it flowed, it looked absolutely amazing. I'm actually looking forward to that. That's one of the games I'm going to get once I get my PlayStation. So yeah, that actually is a very, very solid choice there. Kisuga, carry on.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But let's not forget about something that I feel is really, really important, is that the Spider-Man game is finally moving away. It's finally moving away from Peter Parker, and it's highlighting Miles Morales, and I think that's super important, especially like obviously given like our current like state of where our world is right now. But like, the guy who played Black Panther. What's his name again? Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman. He recently passed, but he did so much to elevate, like, that character and highlighting like these, like the need for like, I'm not even talking about representation, but like having like a broad appeal to more people. You know what I mean? And Miles Morales, he's like half black, half Hispanic. I think it's a really, really great move. I think his story is phenomenal. It's a good move.
I will be honest with you, Peter Parker has got to up his game. The moves that Miles was coming out with, holy shit!
I know, man. This is going big.
I
do
like
think
in Spider-Verse.
That had a lot to do with the popularity. I think that film nailed Morales. So I'm glad they're kind of finally bringing that over.
I need to watch that.
I obsessively listened to that soundtrack for about a week straight.
So have I. I still got it on my Spotify, man. I adore that soundtrack.
It's so good. It's so good.
And just quickly touch on that, because Kisuga, I think you brought up a very strong point. And we're seeing that a lot of, whether it's TV shows, now we're seeing a lot more in games, they're trying to appeal to more wider audiences, trying to be more inclusive. One studio that I know that does this, Not Entertainment, with Life is Strange 1 and 2, and then they have Tell Me Why, which the characters, one of them is, I don't know what the proper term is. They so they have
spoilers.
I haven't played it, so I
know. So I know that's why I don't want to say. I wasn't even sure about the proper term, but they have all different people represented in their game. So it's actually really
so cool.
It's so cool that they're doing this. So I think we're probably going to end up seeing more from game developers, because again, I guess it sells, because again, this is a business and it sells. So hopefully that would mean more inclusive characters. So that's a very good point. So moving right along, Kisuga, you said you didn't see the showcase, right?
I didn't, but I did do my research and I watched a bunch of the trailers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Is there any game-wise that stood out to you or stood out for you?
I am so happy you asked. So I'm very, very happy, because as soon as I saw this on the list on the run, I was like, what? And I looked it up immediately. Actually, I spent a good chunk of my morning like looking at stuff about this. Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy is going to be awesome. I'm so
Thank you.
I'm going to show you guys something. Hang tight.
Oh, I love this guy already. I'm so
I fucking love Harry Potter, and I'm so sad that I didn't get into it sooner. I have a freaking Harry Potter letter jacket.
What?
Dude, look at that.
Nice.
Pretty dope,
That's
though.
fucking cool, right? Oh my god, I love Harry Potter. I love what they're doing with this game. Like they're, the books came out at a time when people were like looking to be empowered. A lot of that generation kind of felt like alone. You know what I mean? And Harry Potter is very much that vehicle. Like, he was this kid stuck underneath in a cupboard underneath the stairs for God's sakes, but he was special, like that resonated with a lot of people, obviously. So Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy is an open world action RPG that's coming out with it gives us that fantasy of being in that world, being a student in that world. You're like, oh, I'm just another one of the Hogwarts students. I get to go to class and meet all these really eccentric and really cool professors and learn all this magic and I'm so excited.
Just real quick, since we're talking about that, Cherryfly asked, "What house?"
Like what house? I'm Slytherin all the way, dude.
Ooh.
Oh my god! You are speaking I got sorted straight into Slytherin myself when I did the
that's why I like you.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up, to be honest, because I've during the watch party I mentioned it at the end. I don't think anyone was hearing us because we had audio issues, but I was gushing. Like my first Xbox game, when I first got my Xbox, my first game was Prisoner of Azkaban. Oof. And just open world. Oh, I just want it so bad. It's the Harry Potter game I've wanted since I was a kid, and I think this is going to be good, to be honest.
I'm so excited for it. I don't give a crap about any other games.
So was anybody else sorted into any houses? Did you guys do the Pottermore challenge or anything like that?
I haven't. I want to say
Adam, go. I want to say you're a Hufflepuff, to be honest, for me.
I said it on stream. I said, look, I feel like Hufflepuffs are out here and not being giving their props.
Proper representation.
I'm all about Hufflepuffs, man. We're out here, Hufflepuff. I don't know what the gang sign is.
Are we watching the same?
We don't want to. Please don't demonetize us. Please
Throwing gang signs up here. Holy shit.
Not talking gangs.
Yeah, represent Huffle. That's right. Peace. All
right. Somebody clip that, please.
Right. Adam, what about you, though? Do you have a house in mind?
I've never actually been sorted, but I would probably be the same as Kisugo and Neon in the Slytherin.
Yeah.
So I like that sort of. Yeah.
We should send a link out to our chat at some point, our communities, and just get some feedback.
Good. Yeah, just have everybody take the Pottermore quiz, man. It'd be fine, dude.
Yeah,
that'll be good. So
find it.
Also in the showcase, we also got to see Final Fantasy 16. Those of you that are super love Final Fantasy 16. Actually, Haga sent me a clip of YouTuber called you guys probably know him. His name is Afro Senju. He was watching the showcase. The moment he saw Final Fantasy, he was literally spinning on his chair. Wow.
He was on that. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, which is why I'm dying to play 7 once I get my PS. But seeing I guess we saw some gameplay, we saw some cutscenes. I don't know if we have a trailer of it. It looks really good. Oh. It's set in the medieval fantasy type setting. I also Sony announced that 16 might be it's an exclusive, but we're not sure if it's a timed exclusive. So probably it might be that it might come out again on PC at some point.
We've got an echo.
Do we?
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I think we've got an echo.
Hello.
Chat.
Hello.
trying to seduce me. So go.
No worries. It's gone now. It's gone.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No worries. So we're not sure if it's going to be a timed exclusive, which will be great if it is. And in that way, so that more people that don't have a PlayStation can actually have access to it. I thought it was a fantastic announcement. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Maybe they did, but I think we're all fans of Final Fantasy. Adam, I don't know does Final Fantasy tickle your fancy in general, or not really, or
no? I've kind of kept away from it. Not my cup of tea.
No.
That's Kisugo gone. Okay, bye.
I completely get that. I think what sold me on Final Fantasy was the movies. Well, not the movies, the animations. The Child of Advent was great, and obviously some of the cartoons that were out at the time when I was growing up, fantastic. What about Yuki Sogo? I'm guessing you're a big fan of
the huge fan, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's what's. I got into Final Fantasy back in like 1, 2, like that whole era, during NES and stuff like that. And though like I've changed my mind about this actually pretty recently. I love like turn-based like RPGs and stuff like that. I like what that did, but for Final Fantasy to kind of stay relevant in the play space, they have to like change. Yeah. I appreciate what they're doing, like with 15 and stuff like that. They changed the way that's played. I think that if they kind of applied that same logic to Final Fantasy 7.
Okay.
If they made Final Fantasy 16 with the battle system that they implemented with Final Fantasy 7 Remake, I think that'd be better, because 15, the battle system was a little bit like, I mean, let's be honest, it was garbage. Like, I just really, really hated it. I mean, I'm just spamming the freaking X button.
X button.
Yeah, dude, it's just garbage.
I guess it's, yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, like, I like that they're going back to their roots in regards to like going to like more of a fantasy type setting, as opposed to like, war bros on a road trip. I have very strong feelings about it. I liked it, but I'm very strong. But I like that they're returning to the roots. I like conceptually what the story is about, and I think that's a really, really smart move to go back to. Like, this feels like with the new release of the new gen or next gen console, I feel like this is a going back, like, okay, let's do this. And also really exciting, Yoshi P is going to be a producer of that, and Yoshi P is, I mean, I play Final Fantasy 14, so like, that dude is awesome. Like, the things he's done for Square and for the Final Fantasy series in general, I think it's going in a really, really good direction.
Nice. I'm excited about it. Scott, I know you are probably over the moon, maybe, or tempered excitement
for the game. We'll start with the game.
Okay.
So I was very late into the Final Fantasy.
Gotcha.
It was actually I bought. It was 13. Final Fantasy 13 was my first Final Fantasy game.
Wow.
And that's not very well regarded, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Is that Lightning Returns?
No, that's the third one. I lent it to Arrow in the dorms. When I got it back, the case was broke.
Of course.
It's sticky for some reason.
So
no, if it was sticky, then that's a different story. But it was.
Oh my god! I was enamored by that game, and I really, honestly, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I didn't care what anybody says. And then I got to 13.2, and I got to a point. I don't know if anyone's played it here, but you need these cores to unlock certain gates, and there's one gate in particular which you can only get through. You only got so many cores basically, and I didn't have enough cores to get through the gate I needed to progress the mission. So I was stuck. I had nowhere to go. So I never finished that one. But then I've played Final Fantasy 15, and I don't know, the bro trip. That did it for me. Combat was terrible, but I loved it. It was charming. It told a very personal story.
Yeah.
And it's all its faults. They did work on it like over the years, and they did a cracking job. But I've dabbled with the Final Fantasy 7 remake. I've not finished it yet, and I bought the original on the Switch, which I've been meaning to go back to. But I mean, I like where 16 is going. It's got like a very dark medieval vibe, which I love. I'm a bit disappointed with the reveal that it'll be console exclusive. To be honest, I think Sony don't typically tell you if it's going to be time exclusive. They just, they'd rather you assume that it's going to be full on exclusive forever. So I think a lot of the people that I know who love Final Fantasy and don't have a PC, they can't play on Xbox. And I think they're just cutting a massive group of people out of the equation, and I think it's unfair.
That goes into game philosophy and
so much politics involved.
Yeah. And just quickly touch on what you just said. During the trailers, it was revealed that both Final Fantasy and Demon's Soul is coming to PC now. I believe
I think they walked that back.
They walked that back.
Yeah, it was the next day.
Correct. Yeah. They both said, no, it's not the case. So perhaps it is the case, but they don't want us to know yet. And again, Sony
it wouldn't be the first time that's happened, to be honest. I mean, let's face it, Sony exclusives mean absolutely nothing at this point because they've gone back. I mean, look at Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, their messaging this year alone, they've said that the new Horizon Zero Dawn, Miles Morales will build from the ground up for PlayStation 5. And then after the event, in a blog post, they say, oh, it's coming to PlayStation 4. So, which is great, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. More people get to play it, and that's what's important at the end of the day. It's just deceptive headlines. Sony have always been pretty bad for that. I mean, especially when you compare it to with Microsoft doing. They've been clear, concise this entire generation. Maybe because they're losing, but they're pro-consumer right now. Whereas I don't feel Sony are.
No, Sony's in the business of making money they're trying to get people to get their new console. So they're going to squeeze all that much. I'm very, very cynical about this, by the way. They're going to squeeze as much of that out as they can, and then they're going to release things to access other places. Whereas you're right, Xbox right now, because they're kind of like behind. Let's be honest, PS4 kind of like overtook them this generation. They have been a little bit more pro-consumer in terms of like access, and I think you guys touched on that in your last podcast, talking about like kind of like the different like ways that these two companies are approaching like what they're doing. So yeah.
Just quickly, I'm just reading Cherryfly's comments. I understand that Microsoft is a thing and Sony want to make money as a business, but you would think don't mess your people around when the gaming world is passionate. And that's a very solid statement. I think all of us pretty much agree with that. Again, if you think about it from a business point of view, the business objective is to make money because they are, they are subject or they are accountable to their shareholders. That's the main purpose of business. But again, there's a way you conduct business. You don't have to screw over people, but again, so we can probably go on.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, you think because they've earned so much goodwill over this generation. They've like every first party game they've put out has been phenomenal. You'd think they would have a little bit more trust in its own words, its own messaging. I don't really feel like misleading people is the best way to go about it.
I know that we all have very passionate thoughts about this, and if we start, we're probably not going to end the show. So
true.
That's a whole hour of topic.
We can probably do like a after show chat, the party after the after party. So they did mention again. This is one of the things that they've mentioned that Sony is looking to expand their first party titles on the PC platform in order to promote more money, more growth. So we can probably see this Demon's Souls, Final Fantasy games, and all the other first-party games potentially coming on PC. So again, it's not going to help those people that don't have PC, but again, those people that do have PC at least would have access to this. So hopefully it's a starting point. So, but we'll see. And then we also got a teaser for God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, we did.
Whew! Let me tell you, Prince of Persia is one thing. God of War? Oh, Lord. I was pumped. We didn't even see anything. We didn't see Kratos. We didn't see anything. We just saw a sign. I lost my shit. Pretty much. Yeah. That's all we saw. And I was like, okay, when? How do I get this? So we saw a teaser. It was just an emblem. We know that it's scheduled to release in 2021. We don't know if it's a full game or expansion. We don't know what it is, but we know a God of War is coming out in some sense. Now, just real quick, let me just swing it to Nuns. Nuns, are you a fan of the God of War world? Or...
Yes, I watched quite a bit of. Was it Mr. Fruit play God of War on PS4? Okay. I am going to PS4. I haven't had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2, 3. I think I had PlayStation 3 for about a month. Got rid of it. But yeah, from a YouTube and from a person watching, not being able to play it, it was really good. I loved it. I really did. So this year, probably more like early next year when I get a PS5, and obviously when God of War comes out next year, that will be a game I will be 100% picking up.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Kisogo? You fan of the God of War?
Yeah, I played the original God of War, and I think it was PS2 that came out on it. I want to say. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the first
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of pretty much anything like Greek mythology related. So I really liked it. They freaking knocked it out of the park with the newest God of War. I think that was the absolute direction that the franchise needed to go. I think it was like really, really smartly like designed that way. The way they did everything, I can't like express enough how really, really great that game was. So it would be very poor decision making on their part to deviate from that formula or deviate from that like style.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're dumb to do that. So or dumb enough to do that. So we can expect, I think, if there's another God of War coming out, we can expect it to be like the last God of War game. Now, what the story is, obviously we don't know, but like very much the way that they introduce like Kratos' like relationship with the boy. Perhaps the boy will start becoming like the new face of that franchise, type thing. You're gonna ease him or whatever. Maybe. I mean, that's easily, foreseeable.
Yeah. Again, like you said, we don't really know much about this, but I mean, it's enough to get all of the people excited about it. I mean, those of you that have played know it's coming and build that. So we're probably gonna see more. But just passing on to you finally, Neon. God of War. I know we're pretty much on the same wavelength. So
yes,
it's like I don't need to say anything after you say anything. So yeah, go on.
I'll tell you. I mean, it's because of Femi. He got me into the God of War franchise. When we both discovered that we both had a PlayStation, he gave me these recommendations. I went out immediately and I went through all the God of Wars, didn't we? One after the other.
Yeah.
So I experienced them back to back. And when I played God of War, it was it was a breath of fresh air because I've not seen that level of storytelling. I've not seen since The Last of Us. But the way they handled the gameplay, the camera. So they're just really clever with the camera, which I've never seen before. Is that it never cuts. It's a constant camera, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's doesn't go to cutscenes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's always constant. It's a free flow camera, and it's beautifully done. The combat is phenomenal. It's got like a nuance to it. Anyone can pick it up and play it, but if you want to be a pro at it, you've really got to think about what you're doing, and it's so good to watch. I mean, I was watching Mayhem Moose play because he's got his capture card up and running now, and I just I need to go back and play that game. Like, it's in my top 5 for a reason, and I'm glad we've got a release. I mean, 2021. I think that's being a bit optimistic considering the current situation. I wouldn't be surprised if it did get pushed back 2022. But Cory Barlog, he was the one who pretty much started the franchise, and like I'm here for it. I'm here for more God of War. Everyone should experience it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even add any more to that. I think you nailed it right on the end. So we know we talked about the games. We also waited. I mean, most people were waiting to know exactly how much the box is going to cost. So we got pretty much that answer. 70. We got the answer to that question. So there are going to be 2 versions, a disc version and a digital version. So the digital version doesn't have a disc port. I guess that's probably the best way to explain it. Everything is pretty much you have to download your games. So the disc version is going to be $499 and $449.99 pounds. That's for the disc version. Now the digital version is going to be $399 and $359.99 pounds. And this is going to be released, I believe, on the 12th of September 2020. And then the rest of the world is not. Sorry, go on.
November, I think.
November, sorry.
November, yeah.
I'm thinking. I was like, wait, September? Wait, it's already out.
Came out last week.
I was like, wait, what am I doing?
Where were you, dude?
Yeah, so it's going to come out, I believe, in the US and some other, I think Japan and some other countries on the 12th of November 2020, and then UK and the rest of the other parts of the world on the 19th November 2020. So just pretty much 7-day gap. So Price-wise, now I'm going to start off with Yuki Sogo. I don't know if you had any plans to actually buy a PlayStation, but just hearing the price rise, knowing that the disc version is going to be $499 and then the digital version is going to be $399, how does that sort of sit with you if you had any plans to buy it? And if you don't have any plans to buy it, does the price encourage you to buy it?
I think absolutely. Let's be honest. We live in a world where AAA games are coming out at $59.99. £70 for freaking Dark Souls. I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, we live in a world where games are charged like a very premium. So when you have a game of the quality or the reputation that God of War has built and the quality that it promises, and it's at $49.99 for this version and $39.99 for digital version, I mean, that alone is going to draw people in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially if they deliver the same way they delivered on the last one. And, dude, absolutely. I mean, I would have bought it full price, but that's even more attractive.
Okay. What about you, Nuns? I keep going between Adam and Nuns. What about you, Nuns? Are you potentially going to get a PlayStation?
Yeah, I'm 99% sure I will next year, maybe. Again, Xbox is for me. Probably going for the digital version. I have. Same with if the Xbox had a digital version, I would go with the digital version. There's rumors that there's a Series V, etc.
Yeah,
that's down the line. Yeah, I'll be going for the digital, saving £100. And I am lazy, so I buy everything digital now anyway. Digital, so it saves me start trying to store the discs, all that sort of thing, getting up, changing them. It's 2020, now 2021. Who has discs? Discs are going to be obsolete soon. So, yeah, for me, PlayStation 5 digital.
Cool. So I've saved a bit of. I guess I left you for last, Scott, because I know you probably have a bit more to go on this. So, where do you sit on this, knowing the price? I know. Let me just add this as well. We know that the Xbox Series X, which is the top end version, is $499, which is the same as the PlayStation 5 disc. And then the budget version of that for the Xbox Series S is $299, which is $100 cheaper than the PlayStation 5 digital, which is $399. So having that comparison in your head, Scott, tell me where you sit with this price review.
I was shocked that the digital version for PlayStation 5 was $100 cheaper. That I was not expecting that at all. That's a rather good price. It's about what I expected. They didn't, beat my expectations like the Xbox Series X did. I'm going to get one. Where I'm going to put it, I don't know, because it won't fit in my entertainment unit. There's no space for it. It's too big. I've done the measurements. I've got the tape out and everything. It's just I need to figure that out. But with everything that's been going on the past few weeks with the game announcements and what we know more about the launch lineup now, we know more about it now than we did before. I'm confident enough to say that I will be getting one, but I won't be getting one straight away. With how they kind of messed up pre-orders, which is not necessarily Sony's fault, more so the retailers. Probably won't be able to get one anyway. I mean, well, people in the US, that is. What the stock will be like in the UK, I don't know. But
they're actually flying them in, right? I think because usually, obviously, they'll ship them in. Now they're actually, because of time and what's going on, they're actually flying them in, which is, again, you fit a hell of a lot more on a ship than you can on a plane. So
that's true.
They'll be probably quite scarce over here. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, both consoles launch a week from each other. I'm gonna prioritize the Series X over PlayStation 5 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for PlayStation 5. I'm excited to get these games. I'm just worried about the prices of them. That's my only concern right now. But I'm not going to let that get in the way of any excitement. I mean, Spider-Man looks phenomenal. God of War, I will pay anything for God of War. Let's be honest. I mean, and Kisego touched on it earlier. If you're paying like 70 quid for a game, I wouldn't mind paying that much for a game like God of War. But if I'm paying that much for Call of Duty when I know it's going to be riddled with microtransactions, then yeah, I've got a problem with that. It shouldn't be that expensive when they're gonna, nickel and dime you
as well. Yeah.
I mean, I'm paying with my wallet with the Marvel's Avengers game because I was really looking forward to that, and I saw how much microtransactions are in that game. It's insane, and I'm like, well, I've got too much to play already. I'm not gonna pay for the nose. I'll wait until they're at a reasonable price, and I'll get my wallet up then.
Yeah,
but still looking forward to it.
Makes sense. Just real quick, I'm gonna just run through a couple of things that we sort of noted down after the, I guess after the show. Things that we said, okay, this was quite interesting. So we know that the PS5 will be backwards compatible with nearly all of the PS4 games. We also know that it won't natively support PS3, PS2, PS1 games. Another thing as well, we know that the PlayStation Plus subscription. There's going to be a launch lineup with that. So pretty much people that don't have a PS4 are going to get a PS5, get PlayStation Plus. They will have a launch lineup of Battlefield, Batman, Arkham Knight, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War 2018, Infamous Second Son, Monster Hunter World, MK10, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, RE7, Last of Us Remastered, The Last Guardian, Uncharted 4, Thieves End, Until Dawn. So, I mean, for me, not having a PS4 and getting this lineup via the subscription service on the PS5 launch, that is amazing. I mean, all the games that I have on my list is pretty much, besides Spider-Man, I guess, it's pretty much there.
Final Fantasy 7's not on there, is it?
Yeah, but it's really good. I mean,
it's a good list, yeah.
It's a really, really solid list. Last of Us, you have your Bloodborne, you have your God of War. I mean, those are 3 killer games. So I thought that was quite an impressive lineup. So I thought that was actually worth mentioning.
They're clearly trying to compete with Game Pass. It's kind of their answer for it. It's not exactly the same because like Xbox Game Pass, all their first party titles go straight into Game Pass, whereas this is more of like
selecting
the best of kind of thing. Which I mean, it's still great. I mean, it's no extra cost. You get to download them. No more faffing about with PlayStation Now, which is always a good thing.
Yeah. And just lastly, I know there was a lot of chaos with the pre-ordering for the PS5. PlayStation released a tweet. I won't go into detail, but they obviously apologized for the madness and everything that happened with it, which I thought was decent of them to actually address that, knowing that, they had said it would not be a surprise on, the consumer, that they would have enough time to know when the PlayStation 5 is going to be out for pre-order. And obviously that didn't turn out that way, so they actually addressed it, which I thought was good. I mean, rather than just saying it never
I saw
happened.
The tweet. It's probably the most human tweet I've ever seen. Because it's always been so, I don't know, straightforward, like a statement. But yeah, that seemed very personal, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So overall, guys, just real quick, just to in one word, or actually no, in 3 words or less. Adam, what do you think about the PlayStation 5 showcase?
I will get one.
You get a showcase, okay?
He's like,
I'll get a PlayStation 5. It's. Okay. I was thinking about it before that. I thought, you know what? No, then obviously Spider-Man, Oddworld, that sort of thing. Obviously Hogwarts. I will get that. Yeah, they're the games that I will get. It's worth getting. Then again, backwards compatible with PS4. So, Last of Us, God of War, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And following that, Neon, where do you, I guess, again, summarize, how do you feel about the showcase?
I think the showcase was phenomenal. Like as presentation, I think they've always done good showcases. The best one I think they've ever done was an E3 where they had like an orchestra playing over the games. That was phenomenal. That was definitely one of the best. But I think it left sour taste in my mouth because I knew after the last showcase that there was always a caveat to everything they say, and that dampened my spirits a hell of a lot. And it it definitely caused me to make the decision to not get a PlayStation day one, knowing how expensive things are. I mean, consoles, it's an expensive time of the year for anyone getting console, and I've always gotten all the consoles. But I just can't afford. I had to make a decision like what I want first, and sadly, Xbox Series X did that for me.
Okay.
But no, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it eventually, once I figure out where to put it.
Okay. Very important issue. And then lastly, it's a big one, right? I know, I can imagine. And lastly, Kisogo, I know you didn't see the showcase, but you read about it. You've seen the lineup. You've seen the price of the PlayStation. Any questions going into as to what Sony was going to offer for its next platform? Did you feel like they addressed it in this showcase?
I think they addressed the things that are. I think that they address the things that they feel is important to gamers, and I think that they hit the mark on that in terms of like, promising exciting games, whether that's new IP or continuations of their older IPs or whatever. Creating that kind of anticipation for the console. Like for me, I'm a PC Master Race guy. I don't own a console, but when I went back and when I was looking through all this stuff, I was like, man, I really probably should buy the PS5. And I was like, whoa.
What has happened to me?
What happened? I blacked out. What happened? Yeah, it's so when you have somebody like me who's very adamant about PC, and the games that are available on PC and stuff like that, when you have somebody like me going, oh, I think I should buy this, I think that you're doing what you need to do is creating hype with the games that you're promising, hardware and stuff like that. I mean, it's gonna be next gen, so I don't have any doubt that it's gonna be powerful. So that's not important to me. But the games are, and when you have me doing that, I mean, you're probably doing something right. You're creating the right kind of buzz for it. So
yeah, well done. All right then. Can we actually quickly potentially look at Immortals Phoenix? Can we quickly skim through this? Let's do it. Because
no, I'm gonna have time. Okay, that's the show. Thanks very much.
Hey, look, Nons is the producer. If he says we have no time, we have no time. So it's all on his call. It's all on his call.
For it.
I hope we have time. Can we do it?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Let's do it.
Trailers already playing. Let's go.
Fantastic. Nice. There you go. So this game is called Immortals Phoenix Rising. I struggle with that word. Jesus.
Terrible name.
Maybe that's why.
You would think it'd be used to Phoenix, having Phoenix in your old name.
I will actually.
The original name was Gods and Monsters.
Sure.
But that title was patented by the Monster brand.
Really?
So they were forced to change it. I read about it yesterday. It's ridiculous. Wow. So they had to change it to Immortals Phoenix Rising, which, let's be honest, it's terrible. But the game looks fantastic.
Real quick, if you for those of you guys watching the trailer and stuff like that, you get real strong Breath of the Wild vibes in terms of the way the artwork is structured. Whoever did the art director of this game was pretty. I think they were pretty smart. The scale of it, how big the world is and stuff. It's really cool.
I think you pretty much So we have Lock and Knock, which said the same thing that you said, Kisogo. This seems to reminiscence of Breath of the Wild. This is my first time seeing this, and I think it's Adam's, Moses' first time seeing this as well. So this is interesting. So it's the story of Phoenix, a customizable hero attempting to rescue the Greek mythological pantheon after the escape of Typhon. Immortals looks to cross over some of the action RPG and storytelling elements of Assassin's Creed Odyssey with the free roam open world and bespoke puzzles of Breath of the Wild. So again, pretty much touching that. The entire game is narrated by the bickering duo Zeus and Prometheus. The open world will be entirely open from the beginning of the game and feature multiple regions to explore. That sounds very interesting. Now it's coming to Series X and S for the Xbox, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, PC, Nintendo Switch, and Stadia. So that's they even put in Stadia in there.
Stadia.
It's like, you know, we're gonna just whatever platform's out there, it's gonna be on that platform. So it's pretty much going for a very wide audience, and it's gonna be coming out in December 3rd of this year, 2020. So there's a pre-order bonus, bonus quest, A Tale of Fire and Lightning. And there's also, they announced the standard and a gold edition. The gold edition contains season. I guess it's some type of
season pass.
There you go. I was like, season? you get the choice to choose.
My bad.
Character pack and weapons and wings pack. So looking at this, guys, again, I was reading the whole synopsis of it, but just looking at it visually, it's stunning. I'm interested. Just gonna kick it off to you, Nons. Just looking at this right now and hearing about what this is about.
it's a cinematic trailer, isn't it?
Yeah. I know.
You don't see any gameplay at all.
Yeah.
It does look good. I don't know. I need to see more.
Fair enough.
That sort of trailer doesn't kind of grab me. You need to see gameplay. You need to see what it's actually going to look like. It could be completely different. It could be a 2D side scroller. So you never know.
We have seen the first 15 minutes. That is out there as IGN's first, and it's as glorious as it looks on the trailer. I'll be honest.
Okay.
All right. It does look good. It does look nice.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's Greek mythology. I love that. Absolutely love that. And like, the gameplay looks so much fun, and it's like the humor, like like I said, I watched the first 15 minutes, and the narration's hilarious. So it's something that kind of snuck up on me. So I'm looking forward to playing it big time.
Anytime I see Medusa, I always think about the movie. What's that movie? Something Titan. Wait, crap. Oh God, I can't remember. And that's gonna bug me. But anyway.
With Sam Worthington.
I think so.
Yeah, Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, there were two films, weren't there? Whereas Liam Neeson was Zeus.
Yes, but that was the remake of the very, very old.
The OG.
Yeah,
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the fucking love you, Kisogo. Seriously.
Actually, that was Lachlanok that said that. I was just reading the chat.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Rogli. Yeah. So I was like, that movie scared the shit out of me when I was young because I was super young. Because seeing Medusa turning someone into a stone, I'm like, dear God, can this happen to me? So yeah. So it sort of made me just think about that. But yeah, I guess both you and Neon Demon, Kisogo, you guys know about this game coming into this. Kisogo, this speaks to you, I imagine. This is along your wheelhouse?
Yeah, so I mean, Sherry summed it up really nicely. So I'm just going to use her words as my own. So don't get me wrong, I fucking get a lady boner over anything mythology and history. But I mean, what she said is super true. Like, I love legend, like stories of legends, and I mean, part of this is because of what I like. Like, I like fantasy and I like stories and things like that. And for me, Greek mythology has always been better. Like, even though Roman mythology is kind of like similar, but Greek mythology just speaks to me. I just love the promise of that, of the storytelling in there, and like how, I mean, let's be honest, we look at Greek mythology, it's like the original soap opera. Like,
it is. It literally
you know what I'm saying?
Right? It literally is.
But
I didn't think about that before. That's
it is.
Wow.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. The art style is really interesting for sure. I kind of agree with what Sheriffly said. Like, the expectation of what I have for Greek mythology doesn't match with the art that I see necessarily. I'm not saying that the art isn't good, because it really, really is. I like that style, and I like the way that they're structuring the world. You know, open world, pretty much anything is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel matched up. Like, if I thought like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Greek mythology, I was like, yes, perfect. This one seems a little bit more on the cartoonish side, and so for me, they would have to do I would like Nuns. I would have to see more to be able to be really, really, really excited about this. Yeah. But I'm intrigued for sure. Like, there's a promise of something there that I really, really like. They just have to execute. Right. If there's microtransactions in this game, fuck this game.
Well, pretty much again with you guys, and what Nun said, I like the way it looks. Cutscenes are always great, always looks fantastic. But again, we need to see more gameplay. So pretty much 100% with you there, Nuns. And as again, it's coming out in December 3rd, 2020 on all the platforms you can think about, including Stadia. So I'm going to pass it off to Adam, please. I'm sorry we left you a bit of time, but I know you're going to kill it still.
I'll try and get through this as fast as we can. We've been going for an hour and 37, so try not to keep people any longer.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so notable stories, free games, sales, and new releases that we picked up worth mentioning is Destiny 2 and the Forsaken or Shadowkeep expansions will be available on Xbox Game Pass on the 22nd of September. With November's Beyond Light expansion also coming to Game Pass once it drops on the 10th of November. It's something I've been looking and trying to get into for a little while now, Destiny 2. I know Scott's been pestering the life out of everybody, no matter who. He's constantly playing that. But yes, moving on. Microsoft xCloud service officially launched, which many more games will come later this quarter when the EA Play, which I'm excited for, catalogue of games gets added. That will be good. No Man's Sky Origins is the next major update, and it's out next week. So myself and Neon will probably catch up on that. That is an awesome game. I love that game. Xbox Series X and Series S pre-order time revealed, which is Tuesday, 22nd of September. So mark that in your diaries if you can get one pre-ordered. So in the United States, it's 8 a.m. PT, 11 a.m. ET, and UK 8 a.m. BST. So mark that in your calendar. Nice. Free games. Moving on to free games. PS4 Plus games from the 2nd of September. Continuing is Street Fighter 5, PUBG.
Oh yes.
I know. Arrow is rather pants at that game. So, anyways, moving on.
He's just shin spammer. That's what he does.
Is he? See.
I just hear a lot of salt right now. A lot of salt being spewed out.
Yeah. We've been burnt. We've been burnt by shin spamming.
Nah, it's okay. I've still hearing
salt. Button spamming, yeah.
Spamming.
Games with Gold in September, obviously, is Division 1. From the 1st of September going on. Unwritten Tales from the 15th of October. And then on the Xbox 360, Armed and Dangerous from the 30th of September. Free with Epic Games Store at the moment. Football Manager 2020. That's free until the 24th of September. It's a free game. Might as well add it to your library, whether you like football, I don't know. Stick It to the Man is an action platformer / adventurer. It's free until the 24th of September. And Watch Dogs 2 is free until the 24th, which I will be picking up. I quite like Watch Dog. Watch Dog 1 was good. I remember playing that with everybody.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
We called our original clan after Taco Van. That we should chase each other with. Yeah.
Great times.
And notable new releases this month. Notable new releases of Rocket League.
Ooh.
Can you alleviate?
Oh,
it's going free to play.
Oh shit! Wow. That's right,
what?
free to play.
Wait, what?
Rocket League free to play. Was that on Epic?
I don't know where I saw it, to be honest.
Dude. I think it might be Epic. I remember somebody telling me this. Yeah, it's Epic.
Well, I think the whole thing is going free to play, not just. I think it's on Steam anyway, isn't it? So
as well.
Where have you?
So yeah, I'm probably going free to play everywhere. I would assume.
I'm gonna be on that.
It's cross-platform.
Yeah. I love it. I'll go on 3D benders. I'll install the game and go on a 3-day bender playing Rocket League and then ultimately rage quit.
I suck at it though.
Well, if you have Arrow on your team, you will rage quit.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. I will score on both ends. Just know this. I will score on both ends. It's gonna happen, but a goal is a goal, so it's fine.
Crysis Remaster on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. I've heard even the 2080 Ti struggles with Crysis.
Really?
Super Mario.
Sorry, if I just interrupt there, I did buy Crysis Remaster, and it's a shittily optimized game.
No,
I've heard.
I got a refund. It was bad.
Oh man,
it was not running right, and it's not down to how hardcore the graphics are. There is a can it run Crysis mode, which of course my PC cannot, but it chugs at 80 frames. I get it 80 frames per second, and it chugs, and it does not handle well at all. I was like, I googled it. You know, I've got some thoughts from Reddit, and I'm like, well, it's not just me. Then get a read.
Yeah, I've heard it. So that's even the 2080 Ti's at the moment struggle. So you're not the only one there. Super Mario 3D All Stars Collection on the Switch includes Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. Has anybody picked that up yet? That is a timed exclusive. Is that right?
This is I don't have a Switch, so I don't even.
Yeah, and that is all from me this week.
Very nice. There you guys have it. Thank you so much, Adam. Some fantastic goodies out there. Rocket League free from the 23rd of September. Oh yes.
Everybody get that?
Definitely get that. We have a massive fun on it. Right.
Oh my God. The amount of yelling that's about to happen.
It's gonna be great, dude.
We need to set up some custom games. Like if we get some custom games going, that'd be great.
If Onos has just joined, he is an absolute beast at that game.
Yeah, I have watched him play.
I've played with him. Yeah, I've played with him. I thought I was all right, but then Onos comes in, and I go, "Can we play something else? This isn't very good for me." He's awesome. He's good.
Anyways, very nice, guys. Sorry, we have to unfortunately leave. You know, that's how things happen. Some things have to come to an end, but only for today. So real quick, I'm going to swing it out to our guests. Kisogo.
Yes.
Tell us, what are you playing? What are you streaming?
What
are you watching?
What am I watching? So I just finished No Game, No Life, the anime on Netflix. Love that one. I'm in the middle of watching Toradora right now, which is you don't know what it is.
I know Toradora.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's adorable. I'm currently playing. I've got a couple games in the kind of queue. I recently played a game called Interrogation: You Will Be Deceived as a former Army interrogator. I thought it would be really interesting for me to play that and then kind of talk about it in terms of function and technique and things like that. That was a lot more interesting than I initially thought. I mean, I thought it was going to be interesting, but it was really, really cool. So I might do that again for the next case. Nice. And I'm currently still working on Spiritfarer, which is.
I know you love that game. Yeah, I know you love it.
I love it.
It's wholesome as fuck.
Wholesome AF. Yeah. I just might spend the entire stream just hugging the cat, dude. To be honest.
I don't think anybody would blame you at all. People will be all about it. So where can people find you then? Tell us, where can people find you?
You can just follow. You can just see my Twitch, twitch.tv/KisogoPlays. That's pretty much the realm that you can connect with me.
Nice. And do you stream every day? What's your schedule like?
My schedule is nuts. I just stream whenever I have time at this point. I'm back to work now. And our life, I work on the weekends when everybody else is off. So I throw alcohol at people. So usually I stream earlier in the week. Usually it's anywhere Monday through Wednesday-ish. Yeah. But not on any type of regular basis.
Yeah. I think most of our viewers are very well familiar with your stream, your content. I'm one of them, Nuns, and Neon as well. I can say I always have a fantastic time. I grab me a stool, I sit up, you order me some fantastic, delicious, excellent stream. So guys, if you've not been to his stream, I definitely recommend it. You're not going to be disappointed. It is top class. So make sure you check it out.
It is.
Very kind. Thank you.
Swinging around to the usual suspects. Nuns, tell us, buddy.
Hello.
What are you watching? What are you playing? What are you streaming?
I'm not really watching anything at the moment. I'm up for some recommendations. I've kind of caught up with a lot of things. And at the moment, playing wise, my life has been taken over by Ark at the moment. I've been playing Ark with authentic witchy players, and now Sheriffly. We've just been playing for a good few hours today, so that will now consume my life from now until I don't know when. Again, we have our own server on there. I'll just like a bit of a plug there. Subscribers to myself, Authentic, and Witchy Players can get access to our server. So if you don't mind, all that is just to help towards the server costs. So that is now that's going to be my life from now until whenever. I want to try and get back on to. I've been watching a lot of Pestily, so watch out. Tarkov might be making an appearance.
Oh god,
it's coming back. It's coming back.
I'm gonna lose him for like a month now.
It was the same when he first got into Ark. That's all he played. You couldn't get in touch with him because he was always playing Ark on the Xbox One.
You got to put the time and effort in, even though I don't get very far when I do that. But you still got to put the time and effort. Little teaser here. Myself and Sheriff Live have found a very good base, and we are currently migrating over to that base. So you can find me at twitch.tv/nuns and Moses. Moses with a 0, not an O. And pretty much the same on Twitter, which is nunsandmoses_live. You can find me trying my best, since I am now back at work Monday, Tuesday, Friday and Saturday. I'll probably be catching up on, one reason I'm catching up on Tarkov is because I haven't been able to. Last week I was off all week, so I could play with my American friends at stupid o'clock in the morning. I was been up to like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to get back to normal and catching up with my American friends on the weekend. Very nice.
Yeah. I remember seeing like a notification at 5 a.m. Nuns and Moses is online. It's streaming. I'm like, what? Okay. All right then. And then Sir Scott, aka Neon Demon, tell us, what are you currently playing, streaming, watching? Give us.
Okay. Well, I've just finished watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes. It's fucking awesome.
Wow. Me and Margaret have had many conversations about that show. Love it. I've just started watching Dragon's Dogma on Netflix. It's a new animation based on the video game. So far, so good. Okay. Me and Destiny Jaden, shout out there. We have been knocking Neo 2 out. We are just walking through that game, having an absolute blast. Anime wise, I can't really. Besides Dragon Dog, I don't know. As more of an American anime, I'd put that into the category. I need to catch up with the summer list. Really, I'm way behind. Schedule wise, it's a bit of a mess right now. Work is manic. Like, it's just unpredictable at the moment, so I can't really stick to a schedule. So I'm not really going to say what that is right now. I'll have to figure it out when I can. But do plan to continue some more Neo next week. And yeah, you can find me at Neon Demon 9 on Twitch. And I can't remember any details.
Oh, 4.
So sorry, 4. It used to be 9. I changed it to 4.
I changed it to 4. Okay, right. Gotcha.
So, and Twitter is at Neon_Demon 4.
Gotcha. Nice.
Went down 5.
Very good.
And yourself, Mr. Arrow.
Real quick, I'm currently watching Catch and Halt Fire. It's a Netflix show. It's great. I had to VPN myself to the States to watch it, which is, I realized they have a lot of shows there. I'm like, well, gel. I'm watching usual animes. Got a Misfit. They finished SAO, Alicization last week, so I'm sad now about that. Some other things as well. Streaming wise, I need to start a new single player game. I'm thinking Control might be the game that I play. I'm looking for more story driven games. We play a lot.
I've been meaning to play that for a long time. I bought that ages ago.
My PC used to for that game. Like, it just doesn't like it. Yeah.
It's quite a high end game. I've seen.
Please play more narrative games.
I do. I really want to play. I've been playing a lot of like fucking challenging Fury, Katana Zero. I've been dying. At this point, my nerves are shot. I can't take any more. You have just died again scenarios. So
neither can we. We're sick of seeing you die on every game.
Imagine how I feel, huh? Imagine how I feel.
Imagine
how I feel. God.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, I want to play more story driven, and I think Control might be that one. Again, if you guys have suggestions, please throw it out in the ATF Discord, and I will probably look into it. And you can catch me on Twitch at A_R_O. Mondays to Saturdays. Mondays to Thursday, we play, hopefully start playing story-driven games. Friday, Saturdays, all about the community games, the Jackbox, the Among Us. Again, if you ever have Kisogo as a player on Among Us, he's always suspect. Make sure you suspect.
What?
just suspect. It's always suspect.
That's messed up, dude.
Among Us. We're gonna be playing loads of community games now that we have Rocket League free again. So that's gonna be great. So you can catch me then. I have my time in my Twitch, so go check it out. You can catch me outside of Twitch on Instagram and Twitter at A_R_O_2NG. I post a little bit more on Instagram and I talk random shit on Twitter. So yeah, feel free to hook me up there. That said, again, thank you so much to our special guest today, Kisogo. You have been amazing.
Thank you very much
to this show.
You guys.
I appreciate
it. It was definitely an honor to be here, and I'm so thrilled that I was invited. I appreciate you guys.
We had to pay him. We had to pay him to come on the air.
You did. It did.
Yeah.
$1 whole.
So much money.
A fat $1.
Fat $1.
All right, then. That has been episode 19. To myself, Neon Demon, Nuns, Kisogo. We are out of it. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Goodbye.